Chateau does an excellent job of really caring for our employees and going above and beyond. What Chateau does for their employees, from their orientation to the Bloom program that we have, our wellness program, to our benefits. We have the Employee Appreciation Fund. I mean, I could just go on and on and on about the things, the funny money auctions. I mean, we just do a lot of different things for our employees. I think if you have happy employees, it turns into happy residents. And so then you get those residents laughing in the dining room because our employees are so happy to work here, because Chateau invests a lot of time and money into making sure that they're happy.
Welcome to the Answers for Elders radio show.
And welcome everyone to Answers for Elders Radio Network, heard across the USA in either national radio syndication, your favorite podcast channel, or here on YouTube. I am so thrilled again to be visiting back with Chateau Retirement, because one of the things that's really powerful about coming into a boutique type organization like Chateau is having the ability to really immerse yourself in the real culture. And I think one of the things that you guys have really done really well is build a culture. And so I'm going to introduce to you two amazing individuals, Aprill and Stacey. It's Aprill Uskoski.
Yep. Uskoski.
Uskoski, very good. Yep. And Stacey Greenshields. Welcome both of you to the show. And you guys are so amazing with how you create a culture here. And I'm so excited to talk to you.
Yes. Well, thanks for having us.
Yeah, well, thanks for being here. You know, I'm going to start with a story, because when I was a daughter of my mom, I was looking for places in Lynnwood, Washington for her. And I went and toured probably 10 communities around the area, from anywhere from, into Seattle, north, and I was trying to figure out. And then all of a sudden, I would go into these communities and they were beautiful, but I didn't get the spirit of the place. There was something missing. And all of a sudden, around lunchtime one day, I walked into Chateau Pacific in Lynnwood, and the first thing I heard, it was about lunchtime, is a bunch of seniors laughing and having fun. And there was just something about that energy that I went, wow, and it's light and it's bright and it's beautiful. There was something that was different. It was remarkably different. Stacey and Aprill, I want you to know that was the main reason why I moved my mom into Chateau Pacific in Lynnwood, and she was very happy here for 3 years. And that's the thing I think that's so amazing about your organization and what you've created. And so I'm just interested a little bit, why is Chateau so different?
I think Chateau is different mostly because of our employees. And it starts when you're interviewing, to hiring, to orientation. I think Chateau does an excellent job of really caring for our employees and going above and beyond. I know when I first started here back in 2012, almost 13 years ago, I was down in the renting community as the HR manager. And from the get-go, I was like, wow, like you said, it's the Chateau Pacific. It's
Isn't that interesting?
It's so great. And just what Chateau does for their employees, from their orientation to the Bloom program that we have, our wellness program, to our benefits. We have the Employee Appreciation Fund. I mean, I could just go on and on and on about the things, the funny money auctions. I mean, we just do a lot of different things for our employees. I think if you have happy employees, it turns into happy residents. And so then you get those residents laughing in the dining room because our employees are so happy to work here, because Chateau invests a lot of time and money into making sure that they're happy. So I think that's kind of where it all starts from.
And, that's the thing I think that I've noticed about being able to be here on premise. There's so much of your culture that comes out. It just from little things in the elevator, posting things of happy birthday to a resident that's on the wall, of something in an elevator, that somebody just took the time to do that. And that goes right back to the core values of when we spoke with Mr. Godfrey a few months ago, that's what he started. And I think this is where you guys have so excelled in something that makes this organization such a welcoming one. So, Aprill, you oversee human resources and how that happened. How does that play into the culture?
I mean, it starts with the human resource, right? So it starts with the culture of just what we bring. We have to show it. So if we don't show it, then what's the point? So what we practice every day, it's what you see. So from the top to the bottom, everyone's equal. We treat everybody kind. I've been here for 25 years, and there's a reason for that. I help create a lot of things at the Chateau. So when you see the birthdays for the residents, we do that for the employees.
That's amazing.
It's just, there's a reason that a lot of employees stay here for as long as we do. Like Stacey said, we just, from our onboarding to our hiring process to just from everyone, we just have a good time here. So,
And when you're thinking about, like hiring people, you're looking for certain qualities, I'm sure, in those individuals. Is that correct?
Absolutely. You can train anyone to do a job. You can't train how people treat others. So you have to look for those people that really care for people. And that's what you try to find in everyone. You can't be perfect every time, but you really look for people that want to take care of others. We have a thorough process when it comes to hiring for a reason. Sometimes people can say it takes a little while, but that's okay. We've got to find the right people to take care of people. Right.
Yeah. And obviously in your leadership, it's nurturing that ability or that part of the staff that you work through. So can one of you speak to the leadership side of that and how you bring that out in your employees?
Well, I think that our leadership, one is like none other because I love every single one of them. But what I think that they do really well is they're not just sitting at a corporate office. They're not just sitting there making up these policies and these procedures that everyone follows. They work in the buildings every single day, every single week, every single month. You see them on the floor. You see them really immersing themselves into what is going on. So the decisions that they make and the policies that they provide really kind of support what's actually happening in the building. And I think that's like no other, like our VP of culinary will cover a culinary services director role when they're out. Aprill will cover, one of the HR managers when they're out. And you don't see in a lot of companies VPs coming and actually doing the roles in the buildings. And I think that shows the employees that, wow, they care, and they have an open door policy. They're open, they're transparent, and they're there. If you want them and you want to talk to them, the answer's never a straight out no.
That's amazing.
It's like, let's talk about it. How can we make something better? How can a process be more efficient to help not only the employees at their roles, but also make our residents happy? So, that's where I think leadership really plays a vital role.
And I think too, the longevity speaks to there's opportunity here. You've talked a lot about, I think this organization has talked a lot about how they've grown within the organization. So you guys really create a path, for your employees. How do you do that?
Well, I can speak to myself. I started here 25 years ago at this particular building, Chateau Pacific. I started here January of 2000 and left in April of 2002 and went and moved to Bothell when we were under construction and opened that building.
So you grew that?
I grew, I grew from part-time dishwasher to business office to where I'm at now. So we really take employees that want to grow within our community, give them an opportunity if it's there. We've done it for a lot of roles. So it's there if it's the right fit.
And Aprill, when you're talking to someone, it's like, it's one thing to know about it, but the second thing is to live about it. To live that path and that growth process. It's like you can see the potential because you've lived it. How does that make an impact on the people that you work with every day?
When people hear your story, they're just like, you were how old and you're where and you came from where? It's pretty amazing. And Aprill's just one of, quite a few employees that have gone through. Like Muna, our executive director in Renton, started off as a line staff and now she's the executive director of the building, So lots of fun stories.
Yeah. And, for a small organization with 3 communities like Chateau Retirement is, you guys have held on to staff probably significantly for a very, very long time, more than other types of organizations. And yet the reason why you're still here is because of that culture. You know, it has to be. It's that feeling that they're validated and they're valued. That's the word I wanted.
Yeah.
But they're valued, you know, within the organization that they, you know, and I remember my days back in the corporate world, I always wanted my people that I worked with to take ownership of their job, to say, you know, this is my role and I matter. And I think this is something that you guys have really done well with that. So obviously in senior living, that's this type of an overview of a culture. I can't tell me how it affects your residents.
So residents like to build relationships with employees, right? It becomes a family. You want them to have that feeling. You know, they have to give up a lot of, you know, their homes, their driving, their, you know, their daily routines. And if they have that connection when they come to a place, and, you know, when you have a lot of turnover and different things like that, that's hard for residents. It's hard for everybody involved. So if we could have a culture where we could keep employees, you know, even if we could keep employees 3 to 5 years, that's a good span, right? It's, you know, it's changed over years where you're like, you had to get used to that being long-term. Back years ago, it was like, okay, if you keep an employee for 10 years, that was, but now it's kind of like 5 years is a good span. But you want the residents to come and be secure where they're at. And it plays both sides. So if you have a good culture, it will just feel like that when you walk in the door.
Well, and it's the investment that you put in your people
Yep.
that makes them proud enough to be there and to represent the organization that, you know, that they're working for.
Yep.
And that comes right through to making sure that they're, you know, the residents are put first. And I think this is really where you guys have shined. And I know for me and my personal experience as an adult daughter of having my mom be here at Chateau, it was life-changing for me. You know, you guys and your staff trained me as a daughter, very first thing back in the early 2000s of, you know, things that I wasn't even aware of that I was doing, and helping me be a better family member. And I think that interaction with the family is just as important and something that I know you guys do very, very well. So Stacey and Aprill, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
Did you know that you can discover hundreds of podcasts in our library on senior care? So visit our website and discover our decision guides that will help you also navigate decision making. Find us at answersforelders.com.